I don't know how many we'll get in here today, but it's not really any big deal. I'll just build my truck live like I did my first one. Break into the kit here. And get the building on it. Probably spend a couple hours today. I've got about a month here to build this kit. Next race will be on my rubber tire truck here in about 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks. And so I can spend a little time getting this one done. Get in, get instructions out here. Throw these parts into my box. Gonna need the steering rack pretty quickly, so I'll leave that stuff out. Hi, the smoking rat. Yeah, hopeful all the parts are in there. I would imagine they are. Line bag one here. There we go. I think my scissors need sharpened. Excuse me. And I'm not going to need those. Island track is awesome. If you get the chance, I know it's a long haul over there, but it'd be well worth the trip. I know you are you racing at Hobbyplex on the carpet, or have been? Guess I should have dropped that in there. Bearings. Yeah, I haven't been over there for a while. Thing is, when you got such a nice track like Island has, it's hard to go elsewhere. Also got a real good truck class over there, which some pretty good racers to race with, so okay. Well, the very first thing, I need this aluminum steering rack, which I guess the steering rack is on that piece, so I don't need that. Yeah, like I say, I haven't been over there for a while. I know that he has improved the dirt part of it. He's actually blowing the track. I know why he took so long to start doing that, but makes for a better race surface for everybody. Okay. Go ahead and put the ball studs in. Of course, into aluminum, we have to Loctite everything. Hey, Ogre. I'm in Des Moines. So it's about as broad as it's long, going either direction. Like I say, the hospitality is nice over there at Island. I don't have to pay for motel rooms, which I would have to going to Omaha to get in practice. I don't do the drive over the morning of. I don't like doing that. Makes for a long day. I got the opportunity to stay at the track at Island on Friday night, so it's kind of a no-brainer. Okay. Loctite. Need a spacer underneath it. If I can get a hold of it. Oh, come on. Okay, gotta make sure I get these in the right direction. Make sure, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just decided I'd do this live like I did my first truck. I know a lot of my coin folks don't realize what we do to build these race kits, but a lot of them probably think they're just toys. They're far from that. Okay. Now I gotta do I'm not gonna put the ball stud in the bell crank because I am stealing the servo out of my old truck. And I don't like the little ball studs for the steering crank. I still run a B5 link for my servo. I don't know why they ever done that. Went to that little ball stud and link. That's the left side one, that's the right side one. Huh. They cheapened that up in a way. The older ones had holes in both sides, so if you actually stripped out that hole, guess I didn't have that on camera. That's where the servo link ties into on the bell cranks. The older, I don't know if it was the 6 series, but at least the B5 series, they had holes, that single hole in both sides. So if you ever stripped out that, you could swap them, but I guess they know how to make money on you. Let's see. Do those need to go? I guess I should look at those. Okay, I don't need to put the bearings in those. The bearings actually need to go into the other piece. Something else they changed up between they changed the diameter of the bearings. From the 6.2s with the adjustable steering, this rack being adjustable. Probably about, some people, I know one guy says he can build one in 2 hours. It probably takes me 6 to 8 hours, Ogre, just because I'm pretty meticulous in how I build things. Okay, what's going on there? Oh, I know what the deal is. The little spacer isn't in its spot. And there that one went. And these bearings like to fall out. Like it just did. Both sides. Such a pain. Yeah, it's like I say, I'm pretty meticulous. Well, and then as you can see, I'm sitting here struggling, just getting something easy to stay in place while I get the rest of it assembled. And then these are the other bearings that have the bigger holes that fit. These it's a little, oh, it's probably these. Those are probably the diff bearing. Now that should be one of them. Okay. Now I'm not sure. Yeah, you don't have to use the little shims on these. Got to remember how to put these together. It's plastic parts and aluminum parts are just a little bit different. Okay. Yep. Yeah, those you got to use the little spacer, which I don't have to use on this. Okay. Still trying to fall out of there. Okay. These bearings. Of course, I don't need to put them in till I go to screw it in. Just need to get these hooked up to this. Oh, that's cool. A sway bar. Oh, that's my sway bar piece. I think I'm missing a screw. Well, that's not a good start right off the bat. Oh, it's stuck in here. Okay. See if I can get these assembled correctly without them falling apart. I really should use a little Loctite on this too. Hate trying to get these together without losing everything. I got the one started. They do take a beating. They do take a beating. I guess off-road cars, you're always jumping them. Of course, you get a fair amount of cars bouncing into each other too. Hit something wrong, tend to go tumbling. They do break. There's arms, front arms especially. I mean, about anything can break. I've broke about every possible thing you could break. You hit something hard. You even bend aluminum chassis. I've seen that happen before too. So anything's possible with these. If you've watched any of my videos, you probably, Ogre, you probably realize that we do hit things on occasion. Even hitting a pipe, you can snap something. A lot of times you might be surprised the part might have been already cracked too from a previous go around with something. But steering takes a beating, no doubt about it, especially in a truck. You got a lot bigger tires than you do a buggy. Okay, there's that together. I don't think I need this. No, don't need the spacers in this. Rubber seals to the outside. Or Teflon seals, whatever they are. Okay, I will need those. Need the bulkhead. One thing I do tend to do, I try to get rid of sharp edges. Even where those form pieces were, I usually grab the Dremel and take off the little bit of a sharp edge that's there. It is just plastic, but a lot of people don't do that. Use the X-Acto knife too to do it, but okay, now I need to figure out which way I need to put these spacers in this. Going 25. Low position, bell cranks down, hat side on top. We want the high position on carpet. So we want the hat size on the bottom, which I should have known that. So these go in through the bottom. And what these do, they actually raise this steering rack, the bell crank, up higher. Carpet cars tend to be really low. So to get the steering more direct in line, you raise this bell crank up. That's something new. Okay, now we need these screws. Go in through the top. And they screw into this bulkhead. And I think it's the back, yeah, I know it is. It's the back two holes. The front holes are where the top plate goes into. Oh, you're telling me those are 2.5? They actually use a 2.5 screw on this. That'd be the only screw that I've ever seen them use a 2.5 on for years, besides the motor screws that I use. Is that it? 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. One thing I do, I tend to start my stuff back it out and re-tighten it. The one thing that happens is when you use a power driver like that, it gets that plastic pretty hot where those screws cut the threads. And it's a good idea to redo the threads. Yeah, you got to check out my videos from Island there, Smoking Rat. It's bigger, its track is much bigger than Omaha. That's another reason. One reason I go over there. I'm a truck guy at heart, always have been, and they allow us to run mod truck over there, which it's that's kind of a class that you don't get to run anymore, and I like my big motors, so okay, I need a 2.5 to make sure those are tight. It's the only screw I'll use that wrench on in this kit. It's kind of strange that they went to a 2.5. Still an M3 screw, but they went to a 2.5 head. Socket heads. Now to the chassis. I guess I need to put the ball studs in. I'm looking at my setup sheet I got on my other. I'm in the outside hole on these. I should have some longer ball studs too. I don't worry about them in the plastic parts quite as much, but I definitely will on the rear put longer length ball studs in, so you aren't having to, if you ever snap one of these off, you aren't having to replace an aluminum piece at 20 bucks a pop. I usually put longer 2mm longer ones in there too to get the threads out the bottom. That way you can, if you ever snap off the ball stud, you can screw it out the bottom and salvage the piece. But I don't have them out here today, so. Yeah, that was cool. I didn't have the best race over there. There's a lot of fast guys over there though too. I've kind of resigned to the fact that I'm past my prime, so I've watched the kids come and go. I don't know Smoking Rat has heard of the Fuller Boys. I've watched them too since, well, I think Mason was 5. First time I seen him race. Known them since they started. And then, of course, then Caden too. Now that kid is, what is he? Number 3 in the world, or 3 in the U.S. And electric buggy, 8 scale, and what, 4th to 6th in the world. And nitro buggy, 8 scale. I started Smoking Rat. I started when I was 37 or 38. I'm sure, well, since you've raced over there, you've met Peebler. Peebler and me started at the same time. Back in 1998. Okay, that's the first thing. I need to get bag 2 out here. But yeah, I've seen the young kids come and go. I resigned to the fact about 10 years ago that there's no keeping up with them youngsters. There's bag 2. A lot of parts. Oh, that came with a sway bar. I didn't remember that. Okay. Guess maybe it did. I built one of these. Of course, it was back in September. A lot of parts. There's this, yeah, sway bar kit. I wonder which sway bar it has. On foams, I run a little bit softer. Well, actually a lot softer than the rubber tire car. Front sway bar. Anti-sway bar. It's proper terminology, I guess. Okay, let's see what we need out of here. We aren't going to need that because I'm using a steel one for carpet. Guess I should start throwing some of this stuff that I don't need back into a bag. Yeah. Like I say, I've known Dave for, well, what is it, 25 years now? Raced with him everywhere. We've gone to races together here and there. I don't know if he's coming over to the Island race in 3 weeks or not. Hope he does, but if he don't, he don't. I understand. Pretty good drive for him. It's about another hour further for him than me. Okay. Where are we headed here? I'm not going to need that. Not going to need those. Those could go in the bag. Don't want to lose those little things. The one thing I do when I build a kit, I try to get everything laid out. Screws, so you know where they go before you kind of know where they go before you start into them. There's the other little ball stud that I'm not going to need. Goes on the servo. Say I'm going to steal the servo out of my old truck. It's laying here beside me. Those are servo mounting screws. Should be one more of them somewhere. Yeah, and I've watched Dave's kids come up from the very beginning. I know Jana's at the age right now that probably more interested in boys than racing, but she has progressed, or had progressed, and she was racing fairly often, real well. His little boy is doing real good too. I was really impressed the last time I watched him race at Christmas time there. There's the fourth one of them. Say, I like to get these all laid out by length and type. That way you get them into the right spots. There's the other little one of them. These are a little longer. And those. One more of them. One of them. A couple button heads here that are different. That's a button head there. It's that one, like that one right there. Button head. Button head. There's like that one. There we go. Raced with Dustin quite a bit in the past. Raced a little 8 scale with him. He raced a little bit at Blue Groove when it was in Des Moines. I say I raced 8 scale with him a fair amount. Back in the day, that was probably 10 years ago now. Okay, what else do we got to tear apart here? I should be able to start assembling some of this. Okay, we want the 2.5 pointed forward. Go with 25-degree kick up. $14mm screws. Does the bumper take smaller ones? $16, so the bumper actually takes the longer ones of those. So it would be these. And this goes into here. Ah, dang it. Get them started here, at least get one in there. And I can get them all shoved together the way it should be. Dang it. My tip's starting to get a little worn. It doesn't like lock on there like it used to. Or lock the screws on. Why is it not going? There it goes. Yeah, Dustin's a really good guy. I guess I really don't know Matt that well. Name sounds familiar though. Okay. That's looking good. What's the next thing? Probably the side rails. This I gotta remember, I know it's got two longer screws. Actually, four longer screws in the front. And I don't want to forget to put the battery foam on the side of the rails like I always do. So it's a pain in the rear to do after the fact. Hey James Schultz, I am building a 10th scale race truck. It'll sort of look like this when I get done. This is my old truck. I guess I should have the body off of it. I'll have it off in a little bit, but building a truck. I built one back in September. It was my rubber tire truck, and this is my foam tire truck that I will run a mod motor in. That is so much easier doing that. I never remember to put those foam pads in place when I build these before I strap them to the chassis. And then it is a pain to get them to go where you want them to go. Already screwed up and rolled over the end of it, which probably will not. It did come unstuck. James, it's an off-road 10th scale racing vehicle. I race these at a couple tracks in the area. Usually a couple times a month on the weekends. I raced last weekend. 3 weeks I have a big race that I will be at. I won't be running this truck. I'll be running the previous one I built, but this truck has some time off for the old truck that I just showed you. So I'm going to build the new one because, well, I got to steal the electronics out of the out of that truck, so it's a perfect time to be building them. Yeah, it's an RC car. Here, I'll pop the cover off my other one. You can sort of see it a little better with the body off. So we just got started on it. This is a 6.2. They came out, well, in September, I think it was, with the 6.4, the updated version of this. So that's what we're building. I've been running that 6.2 up until now, because otherwise I guess I've taken a month off once, but never really had time to build it. Okay. 5 of them, 4 of them, so it'll be those 5 screws in the back and 4 of those. And I never get too carried away about tightening them with power wrench. I'll put them in snug, the power wrench, and then I'll hand tighten everything. A longer screw, we usually back it out a little bit and then retighten it. By hand. That way they don't strip the screws out or the plastic out. That one felt a little funky, but it probably just wasn't tightened in as far. Okay, I don't have to put the screw in the back because that is in a separate step. Okay, what's the next thing? Oh, the sway bar. And it's got a 1.3, which I think that's the right one. I think that's was the gray. Not, I can always change it out afterwards. No, I tend to run a lot softer one with foams than I do with rubber. I was thinking it was a 1.2 that I ran, but we'll try what it's came with. 1.5. Those are okay. Little silver one is the pivot. I hate these little things. So hard to hang on to. Then your wrench is magnetic a little bit. Let's go into the little pivot. So I can go ahead and put it on the sway bar. So one thing, the black one was the buggy ones. They make a blue one, which you have to use for that's what I was wondering. It should go on there. Come, it's not going on there. There it goes. Boy, it's tight. And try to get this the best centered as I can by eye. Looks like it needs to go just a little bit to the one side. pretty close. Of course, I may have went a little. No, it's pretty close. That should be good. Guess I can go ahead and put the battery foam in there too. Into the chassis. And the next thing is the servo. I say I'm going to have to steal that out of my other truck. Make sure I don't lose some of this stuff. That's where we're done all the rest of the stuff there. Oh, they got to put in the little chassis weight too before. Goes in there where the servo or the electronics mount to. Use them tiny little screws. You have to put some Loctite on or they'll fall out. Dang, I've already been on here over an hour. I'm no farther than I am. that's everything off of that diagram. Those screws are in there. Yep, I think we're good. On to the servo. Don't need that part. That's servo links. Don't need junk plastic ones. Some of this stuff aside that I'm not gonna need probably again. I think I need that, but I'll throw that in there. Okay. So I'll leave that there for now so I don't lose it. Now I need to do some part stealing. Okay, why aren't you coming out of there? There you go. Those need to go back into the other car once I get them off here. Now this one I never, don't look like I ever modified it. I probably did it on top plate. So I'll have to do just a little grinding with the Dremel on that link. Putting these back in the old car so I don't lose them. Servo mounts. Since they use a completely new design on the 6.4, or old design, I guess I actually should say. I'm not real big on new design. Putting screws that mount it up through the chassis. They say there's less flex, but I don't know if that benefits the over benefits the fact that those screws, you've got to Loctite them in, and then you'll strip out the heads on the screws, and then you're really messed up. Okay, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything is tight. So that is. That is. And oh yeah, I was going to Dremel that top side of this off just a little bit to make for clearance. Since I'm still running the 5-link on this 6 truck. Probably took off a little more material than I needed to there, but okay, start mounting the pieces onto top plate. Yep. Piece I'm going to have to Dremel. Get rid of that sharp edge. Actually, it broke pretty clean. Okay. And what size screws? Use little ones, don't they? 3x6 button heads. The other one goes to the servo mount, or the servo screw, which I'm not going to use. It says Loctite them. Which this is well probably do right now. Probably should have that camera down just a little bit more. So where I'm working. Then I need those 4 screws. Yeah, and they say you use Loctite on them too, which makes sense. And I know I'm not talking a whole lot here. Trying to focus on what I'm doing, I guess. I don't like how that one started. Feeling it's gonna strip. Say they didn't cut them threads very good. Okay. And it says 10 millimeter for them. I think I used all the 8s. Yeah, those are 10s. 10 mil to strap it to the chassis. I say this is one thing I don't like. It's what they got away from in the B4, and here they are going back to it. Putting these aluminum mounts, but you got to put Loctite on the screws. Through the chassis, which pretty easy to strip these screws out. So try to use as minimal Loctite as you can. Probably got by with a shorter screw there too. Why don't I get the power wrench out? And now pray and hope you never have to replace the servo or any parts of it. Okay, they go ahead and put the yep, they go ahead and attach the links, so we'll go ahead and do that too. I need quite that much Loctite. Okay, on to the next step, top plate. Okay, use the longer button heads for the back two and two of the shorter button heads for the front two. Oh, hopefully that wasn't in the way for too long. It might have been. These screws always make me nervous. Pretty easy to strip these out. They go in at an angle. Oh, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Let's see if we can just back these out a little. Back these off. Slip the sway bar in there. Hope so. Not appearing to be though. Take those front screws clear out. There, I think I can get it in there. Hopefully. There we go. Okay, about screwed up, but we caught it. Before we got any further, I don't need to put the little set screws that tighten the sway bar. In place. A little different design than the 6.2 right here. And that there was screws actually under the plate that held the sway bar snug, or at least you want it to rotate, but you want it snug. See, we're getting close. On the one side, not yet. There we are. And we may adjust it more so once we get the arms in place. That'll be good for now. Okay, ready to put the arms on. Boy, those break a lot cleaner than the hard arms. Sure there ain't any burrs out there. I'll probably get the front arms on here yet today, and we'll call it good for today. About my supper time. We may get farther. We get the shock tower on and everything. Hey, Mike. Building another truck kit, my mod truck. Mod truck will be down for about a month, so that's had to steal a few parts off the truck I've been running, the older truck. So it's a good time to be building it. My next race is in about 2.5 weeks, and it'll be with the 13.5. Yep, I do. I've been an associated guy from the very beginning. In fact, I didn't run four-wheel drive for the longest time because Associated didn't build one until, well, what was it, about 2009. They actually came out with one. Now I still didn't run it for a while because they were kind of a, I don't know, they were a crossbreed between the J Concepts four-wheel drive and yeah, I had a lot of buddies that tried Losi. Okay. Gotta remember how to do this. The little brace goes in, rounded edge, sharp edge toward bulkhead. Okay, yep, that's right. Yeah, okay, yep. See if I can get this done without having to fight it 20 times. Okay, that's one side. Nice not having those little E-clips anymore. And honestly, they still got the little set screw in the back of the arm, but it really isn't needed anymore because you have set screws here in the bulkhead that hold pin in place so they don't move. Okay, Mike. Yeah, it's no big deal. I'm not too long from quitting and getting dinner going. I'm just going to finish up the front end, get the shock tower on, get the arms on, get the shock tower on, and call it a night for today. Or call it a day. Good to see you come in. I'll probably be streaming Sunday at 1 o'clock with my coins. I got, I think they probably tell you to use Loctite on these, but not a good thing. probably do pennies again, and I've got a couple rolls of, well, actually I think I got 4 rolls of short rolls of quarters that I'm gonna pop open that have been laying around here. Can't even remember what for sure they are, if they're standing Liberty quarters or little mix and match or what we got going on there. But we'll get them. Since I worked on my Washington quarter book, I figured I ought to open a couple of them up anyway. Maybe a couple this week, couple next week. See what we got in there. We got a bad set screw. Hopefully not. Didn't want to go down in there. It went there finally. Like I say, I probably should be using a little Loctite on them, but those screws are too easy to strip out. And those aluminum or steel plates are not cheap. So we'll just make sure they're good and snug. I don't like how that one feels already. Okay. Now it's sway bars. It's about as easy to cut these off as using a knife. And I think we want to get these snapped in here. Easiest way to do it before you put the links onto the arms, because they are tight. Let's see, I wanted to try it this way once. Just see if I can force them on there. The towel making it a little harder. Oh my goodness, break my table. And they do not want to go. Come on. Oh. Hey, Andy. Building a kit. RC kit. Trying, I guess I should say. These little things are being a pain. I knew I wanted to do this before I put them on the truck, because they are a pain to get snapped in there. There we go. Probably won't be on here too much longer. About supper time. Kind of wanted to get the front end done before I quit for the night, but got some, this truck is, my old truck has got some downtime right now, so it's a good time to build the new kit. I had to have to steal a few things off the old truck, electronics wise. Servo, and then the speed control and receiver come off my old truck. Okay. Hey, where's the wrench? Right there. Oh, I've already been trying. The heck do I got going on over there? That's weird. Sound like something in my garbage pail, but I seen a stink bug warm enough today that it had a stink bug, I think, running around the neighborhood. I seen him on the window. He must have found his way into the trash can. Good place for him. These little set screws are a pain. Okay. And then these are a pain. Probably need to get out my needle nose. Get these to go on. Yes, they are tight. I don't know, maybe the screwdriver might pop them on. If I can reach it. Nope. If I get it in there just right and use my fingernails, pretty tight fit to the back side. Oh, there it goes. Okay. This one's gonna pop on. No. Gotta drop it once or twice first. Yeah, that one went a little easier. I think I want these pretty well flush. Never know where to put the set screw, because once you get other stuff on there, the links, they'll be in the way. But you can usually get a wrench on them, adjust them later. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, there it goes. Must have been a little burr on the threads in there. Okay. Those are acting a little tight. Hopefully they'll loosen up. And they will eventually. Probably more so the pivots are tight. Arms are tight. Yeah, that arm there is fairly loose. This one's a little tight, so work it back and forth a little bit, it'll loosen up. Okay, we can put the bumper on. we go. Okay, how come I'm missing a ball stud? Oh no, I guess not. That's the spare. What I didn't use. Shock tower. Look at my kit setup, or my setup. I want to go in the that's the front side. These need to go through there like that. These, put a little Loctite on them. Whatever I did with it. Wonder if this fits. Nope, I need a 7. And need to put the body mount on it. Do that before I put it in the truck, or onto the truck. They don't show the screws for, oh, there they are. 3x10 button head. Okay. That's those 2 screws. That's something I didn't use. Didn't use those because I used the ones that came with the steel. Okay, what are those little two? Oh, that's probably. I'll have to figure out where those came from. Oh. I got ahead of myself. Don't surprise me. I needed to put a couple of washers behind these. Still trying to figure out where those two little small screws went to. They were something I didn't use. I'm not quite sure why they use the bumper or the washers on these, but they've got them there, so I suppose I better put them on. Okay, it says those are M3s by 10, which would be those. I was looking for like a 2.5. Or a 2. I don't see it. I'll have to check back through the book and see if there's a reason for those two little screws. I don't see it right now anyway. Or if they're using a later spot. I think I'd already built one of these once. I'd remember that stuff. Okay, well, we're just about done for tonight. Get this shock tower mounted up. Okay. Well, that's the front end done, finally. 2 hours later, 2 hours and 15 minutes later. Say, yep, I got clearance there on that thing. Still gonna have to figure out where those screws, wonder if that's part of the buggy kit, if that's part of the wing, front wing mounting stuff. Anyway, we'll put them aside for now. We will need that. Okay. Had a feeling what it's for that. Those little screws, yeah. And I think that's part of the wing stuff. Anyway, okay guys. I know if any Andy and Ogre are still watching or not, but I think I'm ready to get off here for tonight. We'll probably be back on tomorrow sometime. Work on it again. Try to get the rear end on there. But yeah, I think we're gonna call her quits. So we'll see you guys. Not, we'll see you Sunday. Probably be on at I think I decided at 1 o'clock my time, so it'll be noon Mountain, Andy, with my normal coin stuff. I got a couple rolls of quarters, short rolls, that I can't remember what's in them, if they're standing liberties. And then, of course, we'll hunt some pennies. So, yeah, we'll see ya. Later, guys.